It's a pretty good guess that you'll remember the TV drama CSI. And you'll probably remember the theme song from the show as a hit from the late 1970s by a group called The Who. And the song was, "Who Are You?" Hi, this is Gary, and it appears that my years as an on-air radio personality are showing, aren't they? It's just that I couldn't think of a better lead into our time together for this series called Guard Your Identity. Some may think that this is all about remembering who you are as followers of Christ. However, I want to flip this idea on its head and talk about something of much greater value, not worrying so much about who you are, but more importantly, about whose you are. You see, you and I are of great value to God. This is especially important to remember when our life roles change. For example, when you are no longer the boss, the mom with young kids, or in my case, the pastor, or better still, the one everyone relies on. Before you were any of these things, you were God's child. Isn't it good to know this is still true? You were and still are of great value to God, even if the title on your door reads retired. Give a listen to these words from Paul in a letter he sent to some Christians living in Corinth, a very pagan city in Greece. You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. You were bought with a price. What does that mean? It means that you are of such value to Jesus that his death on the cross bought your freedom from sin, death, and yes, the devil himself. Think back with me to Good Friday. Do you see Jesus suspended in midair, nailed to the cross? Remember with me, if you will, the last words he spoke while hanging there. We often translate the Greek word tetelestoi found here as "it is finished." And indeed, that's a great translation. But tetelestoi also has another translation. You see, it's a word used in the marketplace in Jesus' day, and it can also be translated as "it is paid for." Paul seems to be remembering that translation when he writes the words, "You were bought with a price," because you were. You mean everything to Jesus. Our enemy, the devil, wants you to forget all about whose you are. He wants to rob you of your identity, calling you such names as old and worn out, old-fashioned, worthless, instead of your true identity in Christ Jesus, beloved, chosen, and even greater still, called. My message to you today is one that goes deeper into your being and is not at all about your doing. It's about anchoring yourself in your unchanging identity of belonging to Christ. So the next time you hear the devil whispering that you are no longer of any value, that you are all washed up and have but little to contribute, think back to your true identity in Christ. In other words, think about whose you are. Christ has claimed you as his own. He has purchased you with his own precious body and blood. And there are lots of believers and unbelievers alike with whom you can share your story of God's great mercy. Who is it you need to share your story with? Let us know below how we can pray for you in this matter. See you again next time as we look at ways to guard our finish. God bless.